Hello, Derek here. Welcome to my channel. And today I thought we would have a look at noise reduction in Photoshop and how to get rid of excess noise. If we have a look at this picture here, now straight off the bat, I'm going to apologise for these little bits of sleep that are here. This is the raw file. It's totally nothing been done to it. It's straight out the camera. And first impressions, you might think, oh, it just needs a little bit of color temperature, will be fine. We can work that out and stuff like that. But if we go right into the image, you'll see there's quite a bit of noise in the kind of finer detail. And if we have a look up at the settings used, it was f1.2 on 85mm lens, and ISO was at 1600. So it's it's acceptable amount of noise. If you go here, which is pretty much where you would be printing pictures out, not going zooming in to these sort of extremes. I mean, this is 145%. We can only just start to see the noise, and when we go way up to nearly 300%, which is it's ridiculous. You would never go that close into an image, but unless you're really blowing up to print out. So how do we get rid of it? First thing first, I'm going to try and just do something with this white balance. So that's the add shot white balance, which is not very good. We'll just scroll through them. Auto, not bad. And tungsten, it's not bad as well. Fluorescent, nope. And there was no flash. So I think if I go back to the auto, actually I think the auto is looking not too bad here. So auto for that, so we'll fix these little bits of sleep in Photoshop proper, and we'll just go to the detail tab. I find you get quite good results for here. You could do it in filters in Photoshop proper, but you get not bad result for this. And we'll come into the detail tab, and we'll go into the luminance in the first instance, and we'll just reduce. It's counterintuitive. To reduce noise, you increase these sliders, move them along to the right, and you see straight off the bat that's not bad. We're at 180%. Let's go right in, almost to the point where we can hardly see the pixels. Remember, this is an eye we're looking at. I'll give a little bit of sharpening. I'm not going to do too much sharpening here because I'll do the sharpening better, I think, in Photoshop. So that's fine. Let's go into Photoshop now. And so we've reduced some of the noise in here, and if we go into it, it looks not too bad, but we can improve on that. And first things first, we're going to get rid of some of these sleep, and several ways you could do it. I prefer to use the spot healing tool for this. If we go up to here, you can either press S on your keyboard. It just so happens that was the last one for that panel that I used. Decent sized brush. Let's make it a little bit soft. We'll just paint over these, and that's all you need. Just paint over them. Brush is just a wee bit big actually. Again, we'll paint over this, over that, and you just work your way around the image. Just get anything at all that'll sort of distract your eyes. And my main focus here is not the cleanup, but you know what? Let's just get rid of some of this debris, bits of fluff, just things that are stuck to the fur. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, that's fine. So when you've done the appropriate amount of cleanup, if you look at the difference it makes, just taking 2 minutes to clear it up, and it took almost no time there at all. You see little bits of fluff up here. If I turn the layer off and back on, so that's fine. Generally, I would say never ever touch your background, but I'm never ever going to look to have that sleep restored. So I'm just going to merge this layer down. So Control and E on the keyboard, I'll merge that layer down. Now I've got of taking out the stuff that you want to clean up. Go to curves, and we'll go up to about here, and we'll just pull that across and up to about there, and that's putting a lot of brightness up and into the eye. We'll invert the mask by hitting Control and I or you can come up here and hit layer, invert, but we're just going to hit Control and I, the keyboard shortcut. And now I've got a brush. I'm going to make a small brush. Let's get the picture just a little bit bigger. Going to be a small brush and quite hard, so maybe just about 10 pixels here. And all we're going to do is on the layer mask that we just created and filled in with black, we're just going to first things first, get the brush tool. Ten pixels, just a bit too much. Yep, that's fine. We'll keep it at 100% flow, just so we can see wording quicker. And all we're going to do is paint white into this mask, so we're revealing the lighter layer underneath. And we'll go that way and then that way. We want to be not quite as, you know, we're thicker here under the light source than at the edges or sides of the eyes. The sides of the eyes we don't quite need as much, and round here will probably not need as much. So when you've done that, you then want to blur this mask, and you can do that by going to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. As you'll see, I've got a keyboard shortcut, so I use blur quite a lot. So we'll go Control and F, sorry, Control and hash symbol I've set up here, and you'll see the blur that we, the light that we just painted in there is starting to disappear in the eye. So we'll click OK. We'll do almost the same again. We'll go to curves this time though, and we'll go to channels. Now, what channel you use depends on the colour of your subject's eyes. We've got nice dark brown eyes, so I'm using red, and I'll probably use yellow as well. So pull the red up and go into the blue channel. The opposite of blue is yellow, so pull down for the yellow. And then again, if you invert the mask by hitting Control and I, and again same brush, we're just going to paint white into the mask, and we'll get a bit darker, richer colour coming through, but so we're not painting quite as much. And then you can leave a bit more space in between these marks. Okay, and again I'm going to hit my keyboard shortcut, which is Control and the hash key, and we're going to add a little bit more blur in it here. Click OK. Excuse me, I do have a bit of a cold here. And you see, if we go back to the original that we had, if we hold the Alt key and click this eyeball here, it will turn off the adjustments. And if you think it needs still just a bit more, just run the blur layer again, Control and hash, and this will just take out a bit more of the, so it's not quite as, yeah, it's better now. And I'm quite happy with that. And what that's done, it's introduced some light and some detail into the eye. We're going to group these both layers, so Control and G, highlight both of them, then hit Control and G, and that groups them. I'm just going to reduce opacity, and let's take opacity back a bit. So that's with no effect at all on either eye. And that's not bad there, but 80%. It's still looking natural, which is the main thing. It's maybe still just a bit bright. Let's go down to 50%. 60%. Yeah, 60 is good. So settled on 60%. So we'll leave that there. I'm quite happy with that. The next layer is we're going to try and do something with the highlights. So do that. Get a brush, B for brush in the keyboard, and a little bit bigger than what we've got there. And if you hit D, hit X. Sometimes this happens when I'm recording. Oh, I do apologise. So I'm just going to paint some white over this highlight, and we're not being too particular about it. We're just splodging it on there, and I might take just a little bit light under here. That was very good. You know what, I'm at 100% for, let's drop that way back down. And now I'll put a little bit of light there. Yeah, that's fine. And same here, we'll do that. And at anything that's white, basically, I'm giving a little layer pure white just to up a bit. And then we're going to double click on this layer here. You're going to say don't show this with the underlying layer is darker. So we'll start to do that, and you'll see it'll start breaking up on the white. So we'll split this. And sometimes you'll get a result that looks a bit funky or weird. So we're now totally turned this back to front. Let's break these ones up. And let's change this to soft light. Overlay or soft light. Overlay, that's soft light, sorry. Overlay, yep, light overlay better. So here's the eyes now. You see that's just got a little bit more detail in there. And again, if you think it's too much, just come to opacity and just dial it down. That's with no effect on the highlight. And again, 75% is good. That's fine. So now we've got absolutely immaculately sharp eyes. And lastly, what we'll do is we'll sharpen it. And to sharpen it, make a stamp visible layer, which is Control Alt Shift and E on the keyboard. Change the blend mode to overlay. And come up here to the filter. And we want to go down to other. And then we want to go to high pass. And you want to do it as much as you think you'll get away with. Sometimes it's 5, yeah, let's go with that, it's 5.9. And let's just bring this right up here. Look way over sharpened at the moment, but that's fine. We'll put a mask on and hide all that effect. And you can see that's taking it back down. So now we'll paint into the mask with white brush, or white paint rather, with the brush. Soft brush this time, and we're only at, like, keep this down about 10% if we can. 12% is good, and we're just going to get the eyes a little bit bigger again. We'll paint back into them to some of the detail that was lost between blurring and getting rid of the. And now that we've got a sharpen layer here, we can also introduce some more sharpening to the other parts. They're on a similar focal plane. There wouldn't be any point in doing it here at the back where it's quite blurred, but we can certainly do it here. Around the eyes, see everything in there nice and sharp. That's fine. The last thing I would do, this is where we start. Let's go right in here. Nice and sharp in there, and the eyes, beautiful. So let's have a wee look before and after. There you go, that's us, got rid of some of the noise that was in that image. We'll go into the darker bits of the image. If you've still got noise and you still want to get rid of some more of it, might have a little bit of noise here. A good way to do that, just use a Gaussian blur layer. So let's go Control Alt Shift E again. We'll go Control Hash key to get the Gaussian blur. And if I just put this down to say maybe 1 pixel or 1.5 pixel even, that'll be good enough to get rid of any noise. And I'll just take the layer mask from here and copy it up to there, so that our eyes and that are still nice and sharp. And I think we've pretty much got rid of all the noise here now. If we turn this layer off and on, let's go in a bit closer even. If we turn that off here, you see there's just slowly but surely a little bit more graininess coming back in. So I think we made a good job of that. I think there's enough noise reduction in there to say it merited doing what we did. So there you go, Photoshop, how to remove noise from your images. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like and share.